Oh yeah, and temporary services, young adults, like I said, they're in big cities. They cannot get it out because the homeless people will eat them when they leave because they don't have no jobs, or they do, but they don't. I don't know, but anyway, because there's so many homeless people without a big population. But anyway, but yeah, in smaller towns, if you think everybody dead and you need to go commit suicide, or you're bored or whatever, or you don't think your mom and dad told you how to get a job, or they pretend like they don't know, there's these because they're all old and tired. My age, there's a big city, there's like 10,000 people January or freshman, junior, senior in every class. Yeah, I met a couple of them in Alabama. Yeah. You know, in small towns, you think there's nobody out there and everybody old and dead and didn't have kids or whatever. They did. But anyway, you just got to find them. But that's a thing. Nobody, but yeah. But there's these places called temporary services. They'll probably change the name tomorrow to something, but they're called temporary services, job locating temporary services. Some person owns that company, somebody sitting at a desk, gets paid to talk to hospitals, police officers, janitors, colleges, and all that, and find out who needs a job. You go to that temporary job locating temporary job application finder location service, and no, it is not Indeed. It's stay away from Indeed. It's called job placement. It's not the unemployment line. Unemployment's fake as shit. Yeah, don't unless your employer already tells you you need to file for unemployment and you already have a job. It's not. It doesn't apply to you. Yeah, but anyway, if you're already employed and they tell you need to find unemployment, that's the only time unemployment matters. But anyway, but a job locating temporary service. I worked at a I work at a morgue one through a temporary service. They have more than car factories. They have or Indianapolis 500 driver companies. They have a temporary job locating services. It's a search. Well, it's not a search engine. It's a building. You go there and they call there. That you tell them. You want. Tell them you want general assembly or general worker. Just tell them your college or your high school boy or girl, young adult high school boy or girl, and that person. They could, sometimes places like McDonald's or restaurants or dishwashers. I had a job at a morgue. You know what I'm saying? But it was like only temporary. But they have other jobs that are full time. It's full time in 30 days. But you just go there twice and apply. And then there's a gas station chain line up north. It was really good. I was there like 2 years ago and had a job. I was on my second interview. They did the interview, did the felony background check, passed without a Trump election card. Just kidding. Ha, indeed. Job, yeah, indeed. Ha. But anyway, I had the job. I did the background check. They said I looked like a nice person that wasn't going to punch somebody in the face. You know what I'm saying? And then I just had to come back for the interview or the close next week because they were going to start me. But anyway, but yeah, job. But just they have morgue jobs, they have restaurant jobs, but at that job place they'll ask you, do you know your high school level? Do you have any other college places that you didn't tell us? But until then, that they can hire you at a McDonald's. But tell them what do you want, and you have to check mark on the computer or in person, and then you just have to do two classes, which it does. I mean, those jobs, and some of them you don't have to. Well, you have to. You have to go in for like 2 days. They'll give you an appointment, and you have to check mark the boxes of like a multiple choice, kind of like high school. What you would like to do or what you already have experience in. Can you bend over and lift up something bigger than your grandma for a garbage sack that's a paper, garbage out of your own mother's or father's house? Or if not, can you lift more? Can you lift Ukraine or a Pink Floyd album? You know what I'm saying? And then you check mark yes. But if you don't, if you're licensed to be Trump, then you say, well, I'm licensed to be Trump. And they'll say, well, you got the Trump job of president, but you don't. You know what I'm saying? And we'll pay you this. But yeah, it's like multiple choice. And you have to do a drug test, pee in a cup. And then they'll say, well, but if you don't call back, you never call back. But you should. That's a catch mark that was in the 80s or 90s. If you call back, say, well, I need my receipt, and they'll say, here's your receipt, because there'll be a bunch of other people, here or whatever on the appointment. And then when you check your receipt, call in, and they'll say before you leave, you have to go in for like these classes. You have to watch a movie that says, no matter what, you all have to watch the same movie, no matter what. It's just basic baby. Girl and boy cartoons that says you don't punch people unless you know you're going to jail. You don't kill yourself unless you know you're going to be dead. But it's like you have to, mandatory. And after that, but you have your receipt. And they may or they may not tell you, though. That's the thing you want to check back on the website or call the secretary and say, I checked in. Do you have anything on the list that's hiring where I did my application, my 2 classes, and it's all free. It's all free. You just have to make an appointment. And they'll say, well, Well, there's 20 other people that didn't call because they forgot or didn't know. But you're here, say you're Trump and you could be president. So, well, hey, we do have a Trump job, do it, right? And they're like, good thing you called in, checked in, and trying to be a Brian Ozer, and I do pay attention, or, I do care, right? And shit on Planet, right? Or Pink Floyd, or whatever. Gotta go, man. Take it back, man, right? At Momentary Lapse Reason or some shit, man. Later, bye. Probably Chicago, Soldier Field, or Indianapolis 500 concert, right? Bye.